further elaborate on longevity in IST. Okay, so I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm speaking on how it continues to work for me. And it's important that to learn any type of endeavor, you have any long-term goal, something that you want to improve on. One of the important philosophical things to have as a foundation is that what you believe helps to shape that reality. Okay? It shapes that reality. So for myself in practicing IST, because I know what it continues to do for me, it helps to reinforce and to shape that reality. And part of that reality for me to do IST, I know that it represents a lot of qualities and benefits that make it so. And as a result, the motivation, the daily drive, the persistent to do it every day becomes more and more clear, becomes more and more obvious, and it becomes second nature. Okay, almost like, I guess, if you use like brushing your teeth or eating 2 or 3 meals a day, you just do it. It just becomes a way of life. And as a result, the longevity of doing IST becomes more and more something that you just do regularly, and it starts to foster in many good ways. So for me, some of those, really good reasons that are very obvious now is that, as you get older, you hear about, having a lot of health issues like pain around the body. So in practicing IST, it's all about active releasing. Also, that's Song. So because of that type of practice, you get up each morning, you feel pretty good. And that good becomes normal. That normal becomes kind of what you expect because of the training. Because you're working on constant proper alignment, you're working on this ability to understand and recognize Song. You feel that all day long. You feel it during the day. You feel it before you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, it's just this feeling of Song. So as a result, the more I experienced that, the more I said, wow, this practice is pretty nice. And because of that, it helps to promote that quality, that understanding. Hey, I'm going to do this for a pretty long time. And that plays a very big role. And also in the practice of IST, we talked about also this week on injuries, right? Injuries. If you have injuries, it's going to play a part in, having discouragement and why am I getting hurt in doing this IST? The way that we promote IST, there's no commercial behind it, meaning that it's not based on selling any products. It's not based on performing. It's not based on competition. It's based on how to do it correctly to understand the essence of what Tai Chi and internal system represents. And because of that direction, it has nothing to do with what I just alluded to. So as a result, we practice not going very low because we're not doing it for show and tell. We're not practicing where we're putting excessive strain on the knees, right? We're not training to compete in a tournament where now we have this overwhelming stress about winning. Winning is okay depending on how you're going to pursue it, and there's value to that. But in terms of IST, we don't go in that direction. So as a result, there's this feeling of relaxation that allows for active releasing. So because we have the acronym FRCT, we do it without force, without resistance, and we're learning to clear the mind and tension. Okay. A big part for me in how it represents longevity is the clearing of the mind. Okay. The body, you can take care of it, you can do things to help it, pretty obvious, but the mind is very tricky. Okay. The mind can get you to feel that you don't have enough self-worth. The mind can play a role to make you feel like your self-esteem is not there. The mind can play a part where you feel like you don't have this confidence. But the way that we train in IST, it has to do with emptiness, right? Song Tong Hong. Hong is emptiness. And when you have emptiness, that quality represents what we always talk about, 静下来. When you're in the present moment, you don't worry about things in the past and you don't worry about things in the future. You're just in the present moment. So for me to have that understanding and that application of real-time experience, it represents a very strong foundation and stability in life. Because you don't worry about things that you have no control over, and you don't worry about the future. You're always in the present moment. And then as a result, you enjoy what's in real time without festering on all those other things. So with the understanding of, having injuries and avoiding that in terms of how we don't want to go in that direction, the qualities of being in the present moment, and the ability to develop IST for good health, those are qualities of longevity. So that when you engage in this practice, you start to understand and realize those three questions that we talk about. Why are you doing this? How to do it? And what benefits you'll get as a result in this engagement and practice. And when those become very strong and stable, the practice of an understanding of longevity, you'll do it for a lifetime because it provides for a very stable and soft landing as you get older into your senior years. Okay, so that's on longevity and what it has represented for me. And for yourself, you have your own personal reasons, but it'll fall along those lines. So that just gives you a good template to consider as you continue this journey into IST practice. Okay, so that's on longevity in a nutshell. With that said, do have a few minutes, of course, always to answer any questions you may have, some clarification, and things you might be working on that you need some help on. Any questions?